Hello, everyone. Good evening on this Saturday. I know I normally don't stream on Saturdays, but I am here. Alas. So, the reason I'm streaming on Saturday is I won't be here tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited. Low-key, because the reason I won't be here tomorrow is because I'm going to go see Hatsune Miku. I'm going to go see Hatsune Miku live, and I'm so fucking excited. I'm going to Miku Expo in DC with one of my friends. I was talking about this last night on last stream, and it doesn't feel real. This is like a concert I've been wanting to go to since I was literally 9 years old, and I finally get to go. So I will not be streaming Sunday, but I'm here now. So we are gonna get started. Also, big shout out to the person that told me I uploaded the wrong thumbnail. I accidentally titled a Vanya VOD as a Jasper VOD, and that probably confused a lot of people. So I apologize about that. We got a little too quirky, little too silly, but that's okay. So I actually forgot to launch the game. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I am ready to go. I sat down 15 minutes before I'm like, I'm ready to go. I got my mono on. I got all my titles sorted out. We are good. We are cooking. And then I forgot to turn on the game. But alas, nobody's perfect. That's okay. So we are going to get started. We are going to continue our Vanya playthrough today, our Legacy of the Dragonborn playthrough today. And one of the big things we are focusing on right now is we are currently cucked from continuing the main quest and the Civil War, right? And the reason for that is because we are doing a Legacy of the Dragonborn run, what we want to do is we want to collect them all. We want to collect all the things, right? So we need to collect all the things, we need to become Thane of every hold. And you can't really get all the weapons after the Civil War, because the Civil War, some of the Jarls die. Wow. So then their weapons that they would give you become unattainable. So our job today is to become, I believe we're really close to becoming Thane of, fuck, where are we? So let me pull the game back up and we'll figure out where the fuck we are. Because right now we do not know where the fuck we are. Who needs a game for a let's play? So fucking real. So let's turn the BGM off. We'll go over here. Turn that off. Turn that on. Make myself small. And then we will be okay. So it looks like I just booted the game up. It looks like we are looking for Falkreath. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Sorry, I just got another. Bro, I will be so real with you. I've had so much work to do for Off-Kai Expo. And we're trying to figure out rehearsal times, and I'm like, ah! Ah! But that's okay. Let me see. There's a 6:45 on Saturday, ending 30 minutes before the event, correct? Let's end at 7:15 if that's okay. 30 to 45 minutes is enough. Gosh, look at me. I'm so productive. I'm so fucking productive. Okay, I'm done being productive. It's Skyrim time. It is time for good old escapism.
Sun, the beautiful blue skies.
Yes.
How long will we have this peace for?
You get it. She gets it. We don't need to think about work. We don't need to think about responsibilities. We're just in nature. And there's a dead guy, but we're in nature. And we're in fucking Falkreath. So we need to get people in Falkreath to like us. And the problem is, I don't fucking know how to do that. So we need to find the dog outside Falkreath. That was a Daedric quest. I'm not sure if that's going to count, but we haven't really done a whole lot of talking. Oh, she's got her little flower basket. Her sword is glitching into it, but that's fine. So I'm wondering if we just need to talk to certain people. I don't think we got around to doing that. So let's go into all the shops. I think we have some shit we can probably unload off our toad too and see kind of what we want to do. So that way we can kind of see who needs help, because we have assisted no one. But we only need to assist 3 people for this quest, whereas the other one we need to assist 5. So this should be a little bit easier, hopefully. All right. Hey, girl.
Someone new? Perhaps someone looking for me to mix something up for them?
Let's see. Why is name your store Grave Concoctions?
I know it's a bit strange. Not exactly a name to bring comfort to the sick and ailing who come to buy a poultice or salve. But what you must understand about Falkreath is that our town is defined, for better or worse, by the large and ancient
That's kind of metal as fuck. I guarantee you that if Skyrim was like set in modern day, emo kids would love this shit. Like you'd go to the cemetery and they'd be there in like gaggles, like flocks of like emos and goths. It would be cool as shit. There aren't many red guards in Skyrim. What brought you here?
Well, my family back in Hammerfell didn't approve of my interest in lethal poisons and death in general. So I left and wandered north. When
I'm kind of into her.
With its huge
like low-key my
felt
family didn't approve of what I'm doing, so I left. I'm like, you're so hot and mysterious. Oh my god, can we be hot and mysterious together? Because I'm also hot and mysterious. Can I use the alchemy lab?
Long as you clean up. You know how to use it, right? Mix a couple ingredients together, see what happens. A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know. We have plenty of ingredients.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, there's my ghost man. Hi. Okay, so I guess, I don't think she has anything we can do to help, but just to get the thing out of my inventory, I'm just gonna, let me just squeeze past you right there. Thank you. Someone who hasn't actually been to a cemetery run by the United States government, do emo teens normally hang around cemeteries? I mean, I remember I used to follow, so I've talked about before how I used to get in arguments with people on Facebook a lot, like as a hobby.
Call upon me.
But I was a part of a bunch of Facebook groups, and there was this one Facebook group, I'm not going to say the girl's name, but she was like a niche internet micro-celebrity before niche internet micro-celebrities were a thing. And she was known for being kind of the worst, right? And what I mean by that is she would always have another phase every 3 months. And a lot of times no one, like, gave a shit, but she would make this phase her entire identity. She would get really pissy if you called her out on it, and sometimes these phases were like
whatever you need,
borderline offensive.
Say the word.
You know what I mean?
Citizen.
She also had a boyfriend that committed several felonies, and they constantly talked about like having sex in a Long John Silver's parking lot. And they were from Pennsylvania, so one time I actually drove past the Long John Silvers. They always posted it because they would post about them fucking, and then they tagged the Long John Silvers location, which was interesting. Anyway, I swear this does all relate, but one of the things I believe she got in trouble for once, and I could be wrong, this was like forever ago, you know, is having sex in a parking lot considered a flex? No, but she thought it was, right? But one of the things she got beef for was, I think they fucked in a cemetery, and then she took a lot of, like, edgy pictures in a cemetery, and people were like, girl, that is not respectful, and she, like, doubled down on it. I could be totally misremembering this, by the way. It was, like, over 10 years ago, but it was one of those things where it's like, it was, like, reality TV. It was, like,
this is the
interactive reality TV, because it's all on Facebook, you know? I was like watching it live time, raw, unedited. It was crazy. But one time she like posted on live, like she did like a Facebook live or something of her boyfriend like breaking up with her and then like calling her mom a whore or something like that. It was crazy. I wish like I need to try searching for it, because I'm like, how niche is it? Like am I allowed to like talk about it, or do I become an asshole if I talk about it because I'm like doxing her? Because it wasn't like a local thing. Like I'm not from Pennsylvania, you know, but there was like a Facebook group of like, it was kind of like a Christian situation, but on a much smaller scale, and it's like,
that's why I wanted to read.
Like Christian's done some shitty things, like you know, I'm not gonna, you know, if you don't know, that's probably for the best, right? But it was like, when the whole Christian thing started, a lot of it was just bullying this person, like bullying Christian, whereas this person just came out the gate like saying slurs. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, right? Is it niche or is it not niche? I'm not sure. Anyway, can we help you? Do you need help? You're shirtless. I can get you a shirt.
I could feel it.
Oh, you ate a child.
I needed to hunt. This pitiful, limited body wasn't meant for hunting. Slow, no claws. Weak, mashing teeth for sure.
So you're like mid at being a werewolf?
My rage as long as I could, but
I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about Facebook drama.
So fragile. helpless prey. And
Oh, why are you making it weird?
I feel terrible about.
I mean, like, you already made it
about what
weird
I
by
did.
killing a child, but why you gotta like
It would
describe
probably
it
be
like
best
that?
for
That's
everyone
weird.
if
I don't
just
want to help
went
you.
away.
Italia cosplayers taking photos at a synagogue. See,
I've been looking for a way.
my
to
dad's
appease
Jewish,
her sin.
and my boyfriend's
There's a certain
Jewish,
beast
right?
in these lands.
And I have very clear
Love
memories of
and justice.
explaining Hitalia
It
to
said
my
that
dad
person would
and
come
watching
with
Hitalia
whoever
with my
sends it.
dad, and him being
Attracted
like,
into these woods, but then I had my accident.
"What
with
the fuck
child.
is wrong with
I
you?"
want to beg
Like, I
his
remember
forgiveness.
at one point,
Give him back the
he
ring.
like he asked me,
While
he was
I'm
like,
stuck
why
in
are
here,
we
the
making
beast
horrific
free.
events in history Yowie-fied? And I was like, but dad, it's so cute. Because I was like fucking 12 years old. And he looked me dead in the eyes and he was like, Evie, I'm Jewish. We're Jewish. You cannot Yowie-fy the Holocaust. And I remember being like, okay. Because I was fucking 12 and stupid, right? But now as an adult, I think about that and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, y'all know Hitalia. Do y'all know Hitalia? Because
Oh my.
Hitalia is
You would do this for
literally an
Here,
anime
take it.
with
I don't
lots
want
of
anything to do with this
homosexual,
wretched thing
like,
anymore. Seek out the beast.
was it
He wanders
queer
these
baiting?
woods.
I don't remember. Lots of
Bring him down
homosexual yaoi subtext,
Lord of the
but it was about
Highlands, my
personifications
I
of
wish you
countries, and it took place
Leave
during
me
World
while I
War
still
II.
have my skin.
So, like,
Should
the
our paths
statement
cross again?
of, like, because that's the thing, it's
Remember my
personified
kindness.
countries, right? So there was, like, 9/11 themed angst fan fiction, like, about the country of America. Like, as a person. There was, like, Revolutionary War toxic yaoi. Like, it was crazy. There was literal fan fictions about 9/11, which was insane. Okay, so I don't think we helped him. Did that count? No. I think we actually started something we can't undo. I've met Sinding, a werewolf who the Daedric Lord here seen as punished by preventing his transformation. Okay, well, we got a new Daedric quest, but, like, we didn't help it. Let's see. This was a quest for Aryan. Well, I tried to help someone, and then I communicated with a Daedra instead. God damn it. Hi, Unicorn! Yes, may the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. Remember that they took Jizz music away from us. Fuck you, Disney. Give me back Jizz music. But happy Star Wars Day! If you think I'm joking, by the way, look it up. Look up Star Wars Jizz music. I'm not just making that up. They called a genre of music Jizz music. Disney is trying to make us forget. They're trying to make us forget that Jizz music was a thing. I will not forget. I personally have never forgotten. But yeah, they took Jizz music away. Hi, gamers.
Steel's good, but loyalty's better.
Yeah, give me
Loyal
Jizz
to
or give me
Dengear
death.
first and the Empire second.
What's going on? Okay, sounds like loyalty's important to you. Do you have something I can help you with?
I was Dengear's personal guard for years.
Is it the bar music? Yeah, they called it Jizz music.
Why would I do that?
And then they changed it because Disney's
I
a bunch of
swore an oath?
cowards.
No.
Like, here's the thing. I love Disney
Because he
World.
was a
I
good
hyperfixate
man
on that shit
and a
for
true
days,
friend.
right? But, like,
True
I
North
will call them
places
out.
loyalty
I do
on
not,
the
I will not
all
hesitate.
else.
I will not fucking hesitate. Let's see. Falkreath seems quiet.
Only inside the gates.
Bar
What
music
the
was
folk
fire.
was told is
Definitely
wilderness
some
and its plenty of
American
trouble.
Revolutionary War toxic yaoi fic. It really should be. It really should be. Listen, you don't know
See me at my forge.
what I've seen. You know, it. Get on my level. I saw fucking gay butt sex in Revolutionary War outfits. Shit was crazy back then. 2012 was wild. All right, I'm gonna break into this man's house to ask him if he needs help. Oh wait, is that the guy we talked to? I'm not sure. I forgot already. Wasn't his name Dengear? I think it was. Hold on. No, it was Sinding. Okay, let's see. Hey.
I'm sorry, I should really go now.
Oh, isn't this your house? Oh, okay. Can you imagine walking into someone's house that's just like, oh, sorry. Sorry.
Can't really help it.
Okay, well, I guess she doesn't need help. Let's see. I'm playing Skyrim because of you. Thank you. Whenever people tell me they, like, re-download Skyrim because they liked my streams, it makes me really, really happy. Did you see the Manor Lords game? I have heard about it, but I haven't looked into it. What's the, like, I don't know shit fuck about what it's about, but anytime I see, like, something medieval, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Me and David have talked about playing Crusader Kings together, and that's something I've also been thinking about. Falkreath is fucking small. Like, where is everybody? I mean, I know they said it was a small place, but I don't know. Hi, Starbucks. Thank you for the yeet. Because that's the thing is, I'm like, who do I help? Does anyone live here? We talked to the alchemist lady. There should be a general store person we can talk to. Thank you for the yeet again. Yeah, my boyfriend keeps talking about his concubines, and I'm kind of jealous. But apparently there's a mod for it, where you can just be Skyrim, and that's what we've been thinking about doing. But he said I could acquire concubines, so of course I was interested. Another map game VTuber in the making. This, bro. There's so much I want to tell you, but I can't because I'm on stream right now. Look, Sugar, I will message you because there's so much I want to tell you, but I can't because it's about my boyfriend's work and he's not allowed to talk about it on stream. I can talk to like other people about it, but he has to like, I mean, like, I've told chat this before, but my boyfriend works for a game studio, but I'm not allowed to say which one because in order for him to do that, he has to take like a whole course in like PR and shit like that, and he hasn't done it yet. And also, I don't want to dox us either. But yeah. Yeah. All right. Hi, puppy.
You are exactly what I was looking
I
for.
fucking love Barbas. Maybe this will count as helping. Maybe this will count, okay? Yeah, they make you sign forms and stuff. Since David works from home,
I think you'll be just what
I
need.
am NDA'd.
You
So
see,
I
my
get
name is
all
Barbas,
the work tea.
and I have a problem.
I get
think you can help sort
everything.
out.
But that's the thing is, it's like, if I wasn't NDA'd, because I work from home full time, then he couldn't, like, work from home full time. And he needs someone to talk about weird shit, too, so he talks to me about it. My cousin used to work at Blizzard, and he helped work on Overwatch for a bit. That is super cool. But yeah, message David in the Discord and tell him, get on that, so he can talk about it. Because there's things I want to say. But yeah, I've had to sign a lot of NDAs. Partially because of David's work, but also because, working with VTubers. Alright, let's see. Let's follow Barbas and see what is up. Alright, bro, you gotta slow down. Holy shit. The same cousin as fiance on a Final Fantasy game? That's so real. I'm doing security for Megan the Stallion? Wait, what the fuck? Wait. Wait. Actually, are you fucking for real? Are you fucking for real? If I send you a picture of my VTuber, I will literally, are you allowed to take pictures with people you do security with? You're probably not, actually. Oh wait, what the fuck? Bro, I was just chilling. Bro, I'm just trying to help a dog. Can I not help a dog? You guys suck. Boil your blood. Boiling your blood right now. God damn it, nothing. Oh shit, what the fuck was that? God damn. Okay, someone just did something. Hi, Morgan! Barbas really is more like a Daedric dog. Ooh, that would be cool. I don't know. I'm kind of like that Barbas is just like a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like that Barbas is a very generic dog. I feel like it makes the bit of him being associated with Daedra even funnier. Thank you for the watch, Streak Vader. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm not, but I do it anyway. Can you take a picture with Megan the Stallion holding a picture of my VTuber? I'm like dead serious. Just like, yeah, this is my friend. She's an anime girl on the internet. Like, this is me being parasocial at you, not you being parasocial at me. The tables have turned. I just want Megan the Stallion to perceive me. Holy fuck. Oh god, there's more people. Can I... What's the range on boiling someone's blood? Okay, we've got the range. I'm boiling your blood. I'm boiling your blood so good. It's gonna be blood soup, and I'm gonna drink it with a silly straw. Okay, well, I guess the range is not that good. Okay. I gotta get my happy ass up there to drink some blood. Well, boil some blood. She's not a vampire. She's just a blood mage. Vampirism is bad, but necromancy's okay. I never said she had no morals. She just has really confusing morals. That's all it is. Oh no, I'm gonna kill myself on accident. Fuck. Let me not kill myself, actually. I actually enjoy the game when I don't kill myself. I'm really good at not killing myself. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Can I get... Come on, come here. Let me suck you off. Let me suck you off. No, don't shoot me. I'm sucking you off. How would you do that? Okay, cover. Okay. Hey, is anyone gonna help me? There's a guy shooting me. Where's my posse? Is anyone gonna do anything about that? Should we do a Megan Thee Stallion cover? Oh gosh. I could. I kind of want to cover, actually, unironically, I've kind of wanted to cover the song that Megan Thee Stallion did with Renee Rapp for the new Mean Girls movie. I've actually unironically wanted to cover that, so maybe. I don't know. Did you guys go see the new Mean Girls movie? Because, like, here's my thoughts on it, low-key. It wasn't good, but it was fun. But my big beef is, like, it's a musical, and they keep trying to pretend it's not a musical. Okay, there we go. Ha-ha! Now I can boil your blood. But they took out a bunch of the really good songs, low-key. Like, Mean Girls the musical is a good musical, but the adaptation was mid. And, like, Renee Rapp deserves so much better in that, unironically. Oh my god, I just burped. Ew. Unironically, she deserves so much better in that, but she's so hot. Unrelated. They killed Apex Predator. Yeah, why did they get rid of okay, they didn't get rid of Apex Predator, but it definitely... Wait, no, did they get rid... No, I'm thinking about a different song.
Keep
okay.
Girl Boss.
Hi, Gathered Vase. Thank you so much for the follow. You're not Gaslight Geek, Keep Girl Boss. I'm talking about how they butchered the Mean Girls musical. Hi, Terminator. Welcome in. An absolute classic and best game.
Keep
True.
Girl Boss.
Thank you for the follow. You're awesome. Gaslight Geek, Keep Girl Boss. I don't know how I'm going to explain the anime girl picture in my pocket. Just say she's your bestie. Just say, I'm from another school. It's fine. But yeah, I think that movie musicals need to stop being cowards, and it's like, oh, we don't want Gen Z to think we're cringe. Shut the fuck up. Half the fun of going to a musical is being cringe. Like, don't be a coward. Don't be mid. They took out all the good songs in the musical, and... I don't know. If you want a laugh, look up Mean Girls with what was it, Revenge Party, where they had the worst camera. It's not good. It's not good. It deserves so much better. I'm in prison in Skyrim. Well, break out. It's easy. You just don't get caught. It's easy. I wouldn't know because I'm stupid, but you know, that's fine. Right now, what we are doing, we are now on the third EB sidebar of the stream, and it's only what 6:57. It's only been like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But we're currently on a quest, right, for everyone who just came in to become also I'm getting like cut off. Why is I'm just too skinny. Oh my god. You see that? I'm just too skinny. Okay, is that better? There we go. Okay. But we are on a quest now. To become the Thane of every hold in Skyrim. So we're doing the Legacy of the Dragonborn mod, which is a mod where you can collect every artifact in the game, put it on display in the museum. We're trying to completely complete the museum, so we're kind of doing a completionist run in a way. That is my posse of gamers following me. And in order to progress the main story without fucking up the Civil War, we need to become Thane of every hold so we can get every hold weapon before the Civil War fucks things up. Because the Civil War might fuck some things up. People might die. Can you believe that? My Skyrim daughter is at home. I don't know if we're going to adopt anyone. Like, we can, but, like, I don't think Vanya would make a good mom. I feel like if she was a mom... her child would write a Midwestern emo album about how much they hate her. You know? I think she'd be, I say this with full love in my heart. Build materials, fuck yeah! I say this with full love in my heart. I think Vanya would be a terrible mother and should not be around children.
Since this arrangement seems to be working out all right
thank you
for
for
us so
hijinking.
far.
Hi, Lucian. Oh wait, what the fuck? Lucian's resonance sphere? Oh my god. A cute boy just gave me his resonance sphere. Wow. I'm sorry. What is it? Yeah, what is that?
It's a Dwemer resonance sphere.
He's such a cutie,
Just
though. I
something
love
my
him.
father gave to me before I left home for when I found myself someone to travel with.
Aww.
When activated, it resonates with its twin, which I'll always keep on my person.
Aw,
That way,
we're
if we're ever
twinsies.
separated, all you have to do is give it a rub, and we'll be able to find each other. No
I just
matter
gotta
how
give it a
far
rub.
apart we are.
Okay. Yeah, let me
Handy,
just
right?
jack off your cube if I can't find you. Thank you, Lucian. I appreciate that. Hi, Chris.
Mention it.
Hello, EB and Chat
Hopefully, we
OC.
won't have to use it very often.
Welcome to the
I'll
stream.
stick
It
to
helps
you
locate
like
him.
a-
That makes sense, but just being like, yeah, just rub on my
No,
cube if you lose me.
something
I don't know, maybe
sticky.
my mind's in the
Yep.
gutter, but like,
That's what I'll do.
maybe I don't want to rub on your cube, bro. Maybe I don't, but it's very possible I'm just being. What are you doing? What is he doing? What is my ghost man doing? Put your hand away. He's dead. Don't be weird.
How's it going?
Hi. Can you be a pack mule for just a little bit? Just a wee bit.
Really? And here I
How-
thought you
how
can
much is she
actually
holding?
lift.
She's not holding
Just
that
kidding.
much.
Here,
It's
I'll help you out.
fine. Let's see. Can you hold 21 logs of firewood? Thank you. Can you hold... Okay, now I might have over-cucumbered her. Who else wants to be my pack mule? Oh, wait, hold on. Are we... Oh, yeah, we're at 549 out of 645. Okay, great. That should be fine, but I do need to unload my followers at some point. I don't think we've done that. Also, where the fuck did Barbas go? Okay, Barbas left us while we were looting people, but that's okay. We'll find him again, I'm sure. If you get an ego, his quest will eventually give you a spell to teleport him to you. Oh, we might have that already. I'm not sure yet. I don't think so, but I'll have to double check. Hello? Oh, shit. Let me... Oh, I can't make my joke. I can't make my joke. That's a wolf, not a person. I'm not... never mind. I'm just gonna shut up. Okay. Let me get my long stride going so we can zoom. Alright, are we ready to go fast? Are we ready? Okay. I love long stride. Long stride is the spell of all time. I love our Jasper playthrough. Don't get me wrong. I love our playthrough of just doing nothing but fucking. But, like, I do miss having long stride with it. I love long stride. It's so fucking convenient. I know it's the same as running, but it's, like, not, you know? It just feels easier. It feels smoother. Okay. Why are we going through Helgen? Is that how you go? Okay. I don't remember going through Helgen, but it could be possible. I'm just a little silly. Yeah, there he is. I see him. Hey, buddy. Let me just... do that. Oh, shit. And what? How? Oh, you good? Do you need me to unlock that? Oh, I can just unlock this for you, buddy. It's no trouble. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right, and then where is it? Yeah, he got stuck. Okay. Well, where are we going, Barbas? Do we need to go here or? You lead the way, bestie. Third-rate dog to a fourth-rate Daedra. Barbas does deserve better. If you haven't heard, I actually don't remember this quest. All I remember about the quest is the Daedra being a dick to him. And, you know, I get that the Daedra are morally not great in a lot of areas. But, like, don't be mean to a dog. Like, come on, man. Come on. What's this? Iron ore? Okay, I don't care about that. Alright, you haven't started his quest? You have to ask him about his past and he... okay. Yeah, so we'll have to talk to him a little bit more. I feel like I don't talk to my followers. I kind of just use them to carry my shit. Which is, like... I don't know. I could be a nicer person. I'm just choosing not to. I'm too busy being evil to be nice. Being evil is a lot, okay? Try it... You know what I randomly thought of? Did you ever see that that video of that one girl that was like, try being an influencer for a day? I don't know why, but it just reminded me of try being an evil overlord for a day. It is not easy, and it is not for the faint of heart. I don't know why, but that's what it made me think of. That was so stupid. Like, I don't know. I say this as someone who's I don't do Twitch for a living, obviously, right? But like, and every job has struggles, right? Like, I'm working arguably my dream job right now, and there are still days where I'm like really tired and I don't want to do work because a job's still a job at the end of the day, right? But like, as someone who used to be a public school teacher, I will take what I'm doing right now over going back to public school any day in my life. And I think it's always kind of silly to have discourse of like, you know, this job is hard, this job is easy, you know, because different things are easy or hard for different people, right? But like, woof, thank you, okay. But like, I guess my thing is, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, is there hard parts about every job? Yes. But it also just comes off as really tone deaf, low-key. Like, girl, there was a girl that had like millions of followers and gets like a ton of like free shit from companies every month. Like, she's making like at least like 50K a month or something like that. So it's one of those girls I was like, girl,
Thank you. Now,
let's keep that an inside thought. You know? Let's keep that an inside thought. But that's just my hot
I
take.
know there's a cult that worships him at Hamar's Shane.
Okay.
We should be able to talk to him there.
Well, I think we're here,
This
so.
worked out. I'll make sure you're rewarded.
Oh, thank you.
Don't trust any offer he makes you, okay?
Okay. Alright, let's head inside and see what's up with Clavicus Vile. Clavicus Vile, do you got your dog microchipped? Because, like, he can't just be running around out here like this. Pitch Perfect 4 is in the works with Rebel Wilson. How do you feel about that? I feel like I watched, which Pitch Perfect? I watched the first Pitch Perfect. And I watched, oh fuck, my blood magic doesn't work on them. Shit. Alright, y'all, y'all take the lead. My magic doesn't work here. But I watched the, Jesus Christ, the block is loud. God damn. Are you guys good? Okay, great.
It's colder than a frost.
But I watched the first Pitch Perfect and I really liked it. I don't remember much of the second one, and I never watched the third one. Any movie that, I don't know. I liked the first Pitch Perfect, but I haven't watched the other one, so I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know enough about the movies to make an educated opinion on that. But, like, if it's a good movie, yippee. But in my experience, a lot of times once we get past 3, then sometimes it can. Oh shit! Holy fuck! Something about the trap going off right as we got the PlayStation 2. Tab, thank you so much for the 18 PlayStation 2s. I appreciate you, but I also just fucking died. Well, I didn't die, but I almost fucking died. Welcome to the stream, gamer, and thank you for all your support. I appreciate it. But yeah, I just don't know enough about it. But there are some series where it's like, did we really need another movie? Did we really need another one? Why Ghost? I think I have a ring that gives him to me. One of my enchantment gives me a ring. Why did I wear this? Wait, hold on. Why am I wearing the cursed ring of Hirsine? Oh, I cannot unequip it. That's right. Okay, great, great. But it was, let's see. I think it's one of my, yeah, okay. So my circlet, it has an enchantment on it that lets an immortal ghost to fight for me. And for some reason, that immortal ghost looks like Jarl Balgruuf. So I like to think that we just have immortal Jarl Balin on our side. Okay, can I kill you? Oh shit. Okay. Let's change what magic I'm using. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. Is that gonna work against them? It does like barely anything. Yeah, I don't think well, they're vampires. They still have blood. All right, let's just bring a big boy out. Hey, do you want a big naked man? Yay, big naked men. I love big naked men. Yay! Okay. Yeah, is this gonna work? I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh, okay, it works. Aha! Oh wait, no, that wasn't me. Oh fuck, I'm dying. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Boop. Okay. Let's yeah, y'all hold down the fort. Okay? Conjuration magic is very useful. It's very useful. Okay. Let's see. Anything good down here? I do still need to summon some more boners. I think I have enough bones to get more boners. So we will keep our army growing. Let's see. Anything good over here? Some fake cards. Why does that spell sound like the Vine Boom? You know, I didn't think of it that way, but you are correct. Is there a way I can go into the sound files and change it with the actual Vine Boom? Because that'd be funny as fuck. Let's just, here. I don't know if we have a saber cat display, so we're gonna save that saber cat tooth, actually.
Have to do that now?
No, you're right, Inigo. I shouldn't be alchemying right now. You're right. You're right. All right, let's go see what Clavicus Vile wants. Hi, Vermilion! Welcome to the stream, gamer. Alright. I don't understand how you can be a dick to a dog. I don't care if you're a Daedric Overlord. Oh, what are you? Hello? Sir? Oh, okay, my magic doesn't work on him either. Okay, we're bringing out the naked men. Hello. Have some BDSM. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, what the fuck? What did I take? Oh, shit, what the fuck is happening? Hello? Hello? Okay, what is going on? Are we good? No, we are not. Are we good now? Oh, look at him. You did good, buddy. You did good. Good job. Good job, big naked men. You did good. I love my abominations against the universe. Mwah, 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 mwah. Okay, great job. They look disgusting. I love them. All right, we do have, so Morgan told me last time, these are basically one of the vampire mods we have in the collection, adds like different species of vampires. So that's what the fuck these things are. They're kind of freaky looking, and they kick my ass every time, but I'm into it, you know? I'm into it. Barbas, where the fuck did you go? Wait, hold on. I thought I saw a check mark, or a plus sign. Okay, maybe I didn't. I want to make sure I'm not missing any displays or anything like that, you know? If I miss museum displays, I will cry. Do you have anything good? Why is he blue? Do you see that? He's like blue. Do you have like blue goo on your head? What the heck? Okay. Okay, that's good. Any new books for my library? Yeah, if it has the check mark, by the way, that means we already have it and it's currently on display at the museum. If we see a blue check, that means we don't have it yet and it's on our inventory. And if we see a little grabby hand, that means we have it, it's in our inventory, but we haven't put it on display in the museum quite yet. If you're tired of having to do the light spell over and over again, there's an enchant. Yeah, I need to get the enchantment, and I also have a few other light mods I need to look into. There's a few things I want to switch out and add to my mod list because 880 is not enough. I just haven't had the time lately, you know? Like, lately it's been like, I get off work, I do other work, and then I stream. So, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited that Offkite Expo is coming up, and I'm very excited that all my hard work is coming to fruition. Ah! Like, lately it's been like, get up, work on Offkite Expo stuff for an hour, teach, break, teach, work on Offkite Expo stuff for another hour, go to bed. So, it's very fun, and I do really love it a lot, but it is definitely crunch time, you know, since the con's like less than a month away now, which is crazy, you know. Alright, let me see. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to maybe like, I don't know, I also don't want to make too many changes to my mod list right now. Do you remember when we almost broke this save and I had a mental breakdown? If I lose this save, I might cry. I love my little war criminal so much. Look at her. Look at her. Look at that face. She still kind of looks like Skylar White, but that's besides the point, okay? I don't want to lose this save. Yeah, these we have. That one we don't need, so I don't care. Dragon Piercer Arrow. Oh, here we go. We don't have a Flawless Sapphire yet, so let's grab that. Yeah, these arrows look kind of cool. And the Jade and Emerald Circlet, we can do some more enchanting on to get our enchanting skill up. So that'll be good. Alright, Barbas, what the fuck are you? Oh, you're a thrall. Here, give me your blood. Bada-bum. Another one. Bada-bum. Last one. Bada-bum. Oh, he's dead. Okay, cool. Give me your skull and your ribcage as a treat. Nom 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 nom. We haven't done the cannibalism quest yet, by the way. Do you guys remember, what is it? It's in, oh fuck, what horde is it? Markarth, fucking Markarth. Isn't there a cannibalism thing in Markarth? I kind of want to do that too. I kind of want to do all the sick and twisted stuff soon. But oh, hey, I can't look at that too long. Okay, let's do that. And yeah, is that gonna? Oh, okay, that does work. I didn't think that would work. Oh, okay, it doesn't work on her. Okay, the blood magic works on the thralls, but not the vampires. But like, vampires still have blood. So, like, I don't know what's going on there, but, yeah, who are you? Ma'am? Yeah, she takes no damage from it. Okay, let's go back to just ice damage. That should work, right? She doesn't, okay, yeah, I am useless right now. I am just gonna sit here, twiddle my thumbs. Are you guys having fun down there? Are you doing good? Their blood is more potent, thus cannot be drained. Well, I feel like, what would, like, What would be like the equivalent of like her drinking the the fucking vampire blood? Would she just like, would it be like having like a 5-hour energy or something? What is manlet mode? Redeem it and find out. Redeem it and find out. No, don't spoil it for anyone. Hi, Rose. All right, it's time for. Can I just do this right now? I mean, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Okay. You guys will kill them eventually. This is actually, I think this is the perfect time for manlet mode. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, let's, height. Let's, well, we'll keep the height normal. We'll keep the height normal, okay? But everything else, let's see. Waist. Don't need that. Spine. Don't need that. We don't need any. Oh. Ooh. Okay, skinny. Okay, maybe not that skinny. Just I think oh. There we go. That can stay. That's fine. But this one, no. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This. And this is what boys want, right? For my fellows in the chat, this is the ideal woman. Right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at her. Ah yeah. Alright, get in there, kiddo. Alright, let's bring the big boys out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get him, bestie. You know what? Since we're in manlet mode, let's do some ankle biting. Okay, we'll do some ankle biting. Hey. Aha! They can't damage me. Oh fuck, I have vampirism. Okay, no. Okay. They can't damage me if they can't see me. Alright, let me just oh god, the sword is so big with her. I do remember why I changed this time. David told me the magic number is 1. Okay, we just gotta put everything back to 1 and we will be okay. I remember this time. I'm not gonna break it this time. I'm responsible. Okay? But welcome to manlet mode. Who are you guys fighting now? Who is Cucklarn? Cucklarn? Who the fuck is that? Okay. Yeah, where did you people come from? Have that apple real quick.
I needed a water bath, but I guess your blood will do.
There's Recorder being normal as ever. Okay, well, we're just gonna take all that, I guess. We'll just loot the bodies while y'all do. What the fuck? Oh, no. Why is there an ancient vampire over here? I can't do anything about this. Okay, well. Here. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Did you see? What just happened? What? What is going on? What is going on? No. Okay. Actually, this is getting a little serious. Okay, hold on. Alright, big boys. Go on in. Oh, this is a bad time for manlet mode, actually. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, oh shit. Okay, I might die here. I actually might die here. I didn't think this would be so... Oh, the instant fade to black. No! 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 Where are we gonna end up? Where are we gonna end up? I survive only by the mercy of the gods. It would be foolish to step anywhere near Lakeview Manor. Her ass was not at Lakeview Manor. The fuck are you talking about? Let's see. Dread paralyzed me from venturing near Haymar's shame. Okay, there we go. Lest I encountered the ancient vampire priest. Yeah, what was going on there? Because I'm like, hello? Oh, and of course, we spawned in where there's spiders everywhere. Thank you, game. That's so cool of you, game. I love this game. I love this game so much. This game is great. I love modding my Skyrim to all shit. Okay. What? What's happening over here? What's I can't even be in first person. Fuck. What's going on over there?
Victory. For now.
Okay, where the fuck are we? Like, unrelated. Can I get my shit back? Took too long, it took too long, it took too long for me to come back. And then cleared. You see that? Cleared. Her ass. No, we did not clear that. It cleared me. If that's normal, that I no longer like women. No, you can't. No. I think she's beautiful. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I think she's gorgeous. This is fantastic. Oh, I need to level up, actually. Let's, what a concept. That actually might help us a lot. Oh wait, no, we're very, okay, yeah. Health, just so I stop killing myself on accident. Let's see, you beat all the official mobs. That clears the, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Do we have enough for the non-magic one? Raw power. No, we don't have raw power yet. Conjuration's at 100. Is there any other perks we can get for it that I want? Let's see. Preservation. I don't really do any, well, summon and reanimate undead lasts 3 times as long. Or 20 times if you place Hag Raven feathers into their inventory or use a Dread Zombie or Death Throw spell. Okay, that's cool. You can summon or reanimate 1 additional minion. Okay, so I can already summon 2, so let's summon another one. Does that mean I can have 3 summons out at a time? How many do we have? Okay, we got, hold up. We'll see when we enter combat. Let's save real quick, just in case. Okay. She's unhinged and I still like women. Give it up for women. Can we get some love for women in the chat? I love women. Thank you, women. Do you? God damn it! I fell for it again, motherfucker. Okay. Do you remember the like Diary of a Wimpy Kid? What do you have to say to women, Roderick? I'm sorry, women. It's like that. Okay, is this actually? We might have actually gone the wrong fucking way. Which, well, no. This should be the right way. Yeah, okay. This is the right way. I'm, like, pretty sure. And by pretty sure, I mean, like, 70% sure. Okay. Go down here. Yeah, because I remember the little potion-y thingy. It's through here. That's right. Okay. And let's actually do fast healing on myself real quick, just to hopefully not accidentally kill myself. Because I really like when I live, believe it or not. I know that my gameplay may, suggest the opposite idea, but, I really enjoy living. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Okay. Hello? Is there anyone else here? I just want to help a dog. I'm just here for a dog. Everyone's fucking dead. I also want my backpack back. It looks like it took a... Oh my fucking god. Wait, what? Travel with Barbas to the Shrine of Clavicus Vile. Is that not where we're here? Is this... What? But that's... Huh? Oh, okay. I see. Okay. The Hamar's Shame. Universe where everyone in Skyrim is in manlet mode. God, I fucking wish. Okay. Let's see. I mean, there is the big head mod. So that gives everyone the big head. So that we kind of have that. It's not manlet mode, but it's got to count for something, right? It's got to count for something. Alright, we shouldn't be too far now. Yeah, this I remember. I don't know where the fuck we were before, but this I remember. Look at her little Naruto run. She's late for the school bus. Go, Vanya, go! Okay. Hello? Okay. There's my fucking backpack. Oh, great. Okay, so we should be able to summon 3 now? Perfect. Alright. You guys do that. I'm just gonna sit here and look pretty. Okay? Okay. What is that? That's my buddy. That's my flesh colossus. You don't fuck with my colossus of flesh? Man. If you don't fuck with my flesh colossus, then I don't fuck with you. No, I'm kidding. They're just silly. Look at them. Look how silly they are. They're great at their job. Look at them go. Oh, okay. Maybe we're a little close. Oh, I mean you? Oh, manlet mode. You don't fuck with manlet mode?
Blood will do.
It's manlet mode. Alright, looks like they're actually kicking ass. They're doing a good job. Alright, get them, boys. Get them. Oh my god, my family sharing is available. That's crazy. Alright, I think all 3 of them are still alive. Oh, shit. Fuck. Okay, we're just gonna bring out some extra boys just in case. And then I'm gonna fucking heal myself. Because that's the wrong healing. Where's fast healing? Alright, get in there, buddies. Come on, get in there. Yeah, I cannot get in there. Your own pockets block your first person view. It happens. I think it's my pouches, actually. Oh, God. Come on, boys. You can do it. I believe in you. Here, let's, while we're waiting, just to have a better view of the fight, let's, put one of these bad boys out there. Yeah, kick his ass. Kick his ass. I hate just stand. Wait, conjure? Wait, what? Hold on. Conjure or reanimate a minion before the... I don't want the fires of oblivion to take me. That would be not good. Please don't take me to oblivion. I don't want to go. I don't want to... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where... I don't know if there's any way for me to avoid that right now because this room's so small. Okay. I guess I'll just suck my own dick and die. I don't know. I just wanted to help a dog, dude. I just wanted to help a dog. And now I'm so small. Oh, that's my fucking backpack. No. Did you guys get him? No. Okay, that was the apple. Okay, is he still alive? Are they still going? Yeah, put him back. Okay, I don't have enough magic. That's fine. Yeah, there's 2 ancient vampire priests. Oh yeah, look at them. Oh my god. They're massive. Buddy, go! Go! Okay, you can do it! Come on, get in there! Oh god, he's level 50. He is 20 levels higher than me. I did not anticipate this being so goddamn... Okay. Another one? Yeah, phone a friend. Phone a friend. It's fine. It's fine. And then, actually, we're gonna go support.
Thank you.
There you go, Lydia. There you go. And let's actually give myself a little bit more magicka. Restore some magicka. Fuck. And then... No, I don't want to heal my enemy. I like actually not helping the enemy, believe it or not. Once we max out everything we want for conjuration, because we have so many followers, I might go restoration, honestly. Just to give everyone a bit more of a helping hand, you know? Okay, there you go. Alright, are you guys doing good? Where, guys, are you not gonna go after the ancient vampire? Oh my god, he's gonna do a spell and then I'm gonna fucking die. I love when my followers just stand there and do nothing. It's so fantastic. Are you good?
Yes,
okay.
That makes the fight that
guys,
much more
come on, do something.
fun.
What do I pay you here for? I don't think I pay them actually. Breadcrumbs like the one from Mario. Oh. Like, are you guys good? Fucking do something. There we go. Okay. What? How hard was that? Is there another one?
Take.
Where the fuck are they coming from? Go away! You're ugly! No! Okay. There's the priest down. Is the priest like summoning more of them? Like that might be it. Okay. Let's. Oh god. Here, recorder. Here, heal yourself. Okay, who's low? Someone's low. Here, Lucian, get in there, buddy. Get in there. Okay. Yeah, you guys got this. Go, my friends. Okay. Okay, that should be fine. Where's the... God, it just never ends. It's like a fucking MMO raid. Imperial? What's that? Wait, oh, what is that? Leg of goat? Fuck yeah, I love some leg of goat. Okay, this chest loot sucks. Okay. Another one. Why are they just not attacking him? Hey guys, there's a dude over here. There's a fucking guy over there. Are we gonna do anything about it? No, I don't do fucking... There he goes. Okay, here we go. I think I just have to tickle him with something. And then they'll go. Okay? There we go. Oh shit, that's the ice storm. Okay, can I block it behind this? Oh wait, they just did a shit ton of damage to him. Okay, here, stay. I just need to stay there. Is it safe to come out yet? Oh, Barbas. Leah, what the fuck are you doing? Get in there. Get in there, champ. Come on.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Go. Go. Please. Oh shit, this was the wrong way. Walk this way, come this way. Oh fuck. If I die here, I'm gonna shit my pants. No, I don't have enough magicka for fast healing. Okay, plentiful magicka. Okay, there we go. Okay. Does that just say, I thought that just said another vampire priestess. I was gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me? Lydia, stop coming to me. Fight the problem. The problem. Okay, they're all about to die. All right, let's put a big, okay. Put a big boy out there.
Stop struggling.
No, motherfucker! I don't know why there's so goddamn many of them. Am I just not cut out? I guess I wanted to do this quest, but like, that's not normal. I survive only by the mercy of the gods. It would be foolish to step anywhere near Dengir's hall again. Yeah. Okay. Oh great. Now I'm a vampire. Oh great. Where the fuck am I? Where the fuck? Can I steal any of these books? Give me that. It's for a good cause. It's for public education. Okay, we I hate to do this, but our manlet mode timer has run. She looks so. You got games on your phone. You got games on your phone. You play Roblox. That's kind of what she looks like right now. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, more. What do I know? What do I? We're just staying in manlet mode. I threw up. Okay. Yes, honey. Okay. God damn it. I'm gonna be so real with you, chat. Can I be so real right now? My tummy hurts. Unrelated, but I wanted you guys to know. Okay. Change of plans. Because I genuinely kind of want to look up, like, is that what we're supposed to be doing with Barbas? Is that actually going to help? Because I don't know if it will, and I need to know. So let's see. We're gonna do a quick little Google search. Me cheating in a video game? Never. I would never do that. That would be crazy. Okay, let me see. You need to interact with the statue to talk to his master. See, I'd love to do that, but there were 3 vampire priests fucking me in the ass. Unfortunately. Let me see. Okay. Falkreath Thane. Can I just like do some fetch quests or something? That's what I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Assist 3 citizens of Falkreath. Okay. So there's Dengir. Okay. And we need to steal a private letter for him. There's Hurt, who needs to gather wood. We need to gather crops for Matthias. Find Runel's journal for Runel. And there's deliver Barrett's ashes to Runel. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is just steal a letter, gather wood, gather crops. Consider it done, right? That I can fucking do. I'm sorry. I don't care if it helps the people of the country. I'm not getting reamed by a vampire lord. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it, okay?
You look rather pale.
Oh, yeah. Do I? Do I have a potion to cure disease? Hi. I don't want to be a vampire quite yet. Cause that's
Charged.
what? Okay, I'm glad your fur feels charged, but I don't know how to respond to that respectfully. All right, is the potion lady still open? Potion seller, I'm fucking dying. Potion seller, I'm gonna shit my pants. Thank you for the clip tap. When you go 15, the guards try to shake you down. Wait, really? I don't want the guards to shake me down. Get away from
girl
me.
boss.
Above oxidation, thank you so much for the follow. You're not guessing, geeky girl boss. Look how little I am. Okay, where is the potion seller? Because this is I really don't want to be a vampire yet. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't, dude. I do not have time for this. Like I know this sounds so fucking weird. I genuinely don't have time to be a vampire.
Keep girl boss.
Stormcloaks is now following based. Look at this stream. I guess I can keep girl boss. All right. Hi. Oh shit. Oh, she didn't notice. Okay.
Don't let the shop's name frighten you away.
Hi.
I have plenty of reliable tonics
Can't even
and
see
healing
us.
potions to sell.
What do you have for sale?
Take a look.
Yay! You got that good old potion of cure disease? Because I don't even know how many diseases I have anymore. I've lost track. Potion of cure disease. Potion of cure disease. You know what? Let's just pick up like 5 of these. 4 of these. Did your vampirism already set in? I don't know. It was like teasing me. It like did the little red thing where it's like, and I was like, I don't want to be a vampire yet. I have a family to feed of. I don't think I actually have a family to feed. You know, and also, can I borrow that? Can I really need to do some alchemy. It's really, ma'am, can I, it's my turn now. It's my turn. Wait, I need her to go away. I need to see.
Falkreath's warriors.
Oh my god, she's all the way down there. Oh my god. Okay, regenerate health. That sounds great, actually. Yes, I would love to do that. That sounds great. Oh yeah, we can pray at a shrine. I think I followed a god, but then I forgot, and then he abandoned me. That's how that works, right? At least that's how it works in Skyrim. You know, you forget your praying alarm, you forget to bless up, they'll fucking kill you. Human flesh and whatever the fuck this is. Paralysis. Great. Not what I need right now, but that's fine. What about thistle and this thing? No. What about some nern root and grass? No. What about some blood grass and flowers? Yay! Okay, fortify health. There we go. Ba ba ba. Okay. What about a Daedra heart and this thing? Yay! Oh, that's not what I want. I wanted healing potions, but I might just have to like buy some, which is annoying, but whatever. I can sell you the potions I made that I didn't want. Hey.
If either these Nords
Yeah. Okay, what do you have for sale?
Take a look.
What do you have for sale? Okay. I'm gonna sell you. Recorder, shut the fuck up. Sorry. This is gonna sound so fucked up. I wonder, recorder is like, do I sound like this? Because I'm just a non-stop yapper, and now being faced with another non-stop yapper, I'm like, is this the effect I have on people? Okay, I don't need poison. I don't have a weapon. I don't use alteration. I don't really need. We do not need 16 cure resist fire. You're way less psychotic than she is. Oh man, we gotta get those numbers up. No, I'm kidding. Listen, if I was a psychopath, I wouldn't be like weird about it. I wouldn't like make it my whole personality, you know? To refollow your god, pray at their shrine, and it'll give you the pray option back. Okay, so we just need to bless up. We might need to find a new god to follow, because I don't remember what god I was following. I mean, we can probably check. Let's see. This one, health. Yes, I love health. I love living. Yummy. Yummy. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Who did I bless up to? Do I have a, like, follower? Daedric Pole. Oh, great. Reduced armor and magic resistance until you summon a reanimated minion. Great. Hopes and aspirations. Yeah, I don't know much about those anymore. Devotee of Xerxes. Okay, so I don't know where we're gonna find a shrine to that here in Skyrim. Whoopsie. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break because I have to pee. I've been drinking so much water today, and then once I come back after using the bathroom, we're gonna help the good citizens of Skyrim and do this the easy way, because I actually like the easy way a lot better than the hard way. So let me do this, and we will be right back. So be back soon. Okay, we back. We're good. We're good. I came, I shit, I conquered. Fantastic. Alright, let's get back to gaming. Let's get fucking gaming. Alright. Oh, I know we weren't sure yesterday, but today I know for sure. I did not take my ADHD meds today. And it shows. Okay, so let's see who we can talk to. So we need to talk to some of the basic bitches of Skyrim. We need to talk to some of the normies of Skyrim. Help them, and we'll be okay. But right now, it's nighttime. So let's go to the inn. Some of them might be at the inn. Get some rest. Get some shut-eye after getting our ass pulverized. And, you know, then maybe the answers will come. So where is the little tavern? The trying point out here mowing lawns. I feel like I'm gonna have to, like, help a little old lady cross the street or something, man. Like, I'm gonna have to do something.
No offense, but you're not looking so good. Are you feeling ill?
Come on in. Just
What do you mean I'm not looking so good?
Hold out.
I look great. What the fuck are you talking about? I look fantastic. No, for real. What diseases do I have? Because I have to have a disease, right? Reduce health. Oh, I do have vampirism. Well, it hasn't totally been vampirism, but we're on our way there. And I think we should nip that in the bud. Let's get rid of that before that gets worse. Hi, do you need help? Do you need help? No.
Until next
Do
time.
you need help?
Well met. Unlike my
No.
brother, I've
I feel like the fucking kid from Russell. Are you in need of any the kid's name is Russell. I feel like the kid from Up. Are you in need
Let
of
me know
any
if you need a drink.
assistance? Are you, the way they all look down to It's so good. Are you in need of any
You're
assistance?
going to have the men around here wrapped around your finger in no time.
I'm really not sure about that, ma'am, but I'm glad that you have confidence. That's very sweet of you. I need to talk to her, but I'm too tall. My only option is steal. Excuse me? Can I have like do you have a kid's chair or something? Like a high chair?
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink.
Hi. Heard any rumors lately?
Been talk of a little boy.
Yeah.
in Windhelm.
Okay, we know about that.
Folks have gone missing the
apparently we
past
didn't.
few weeks. Word now's that our hunters are gone too.
Oh,
Say,
shit.
If you're traveling, could you keep an eye out for them? Valder and his men, I think they were after Bear up north.
Okay, here we go. Could you go back in and change all of the sliders from -21.5 to 1? I was going to, and then Rhodes redeemed it again. So we're still out there. Okay, so that's one. So that's something nearby. What was it? It was locate Valder's hunting party. I think that one is
there any juicy
genuinely
gossip in
a
town?
quest.
Be sure to share it with
Let's
me.
see. For now, though, let's talk to the rest of them. But I think,
Up for a little hunting?
does anyone else have anything they can give me here? Oh, let me sit on the bench. Yeah, but
Strangers like you bring war.
let me.
I've seen enough war.
You want a drink?
What's on the menu? And I
Depends.
still have free cam on. Hold on. Jesus
Thirsty?
Christ.
Hungry? Both?
You know what? I'm good actually. I think I'm okay. Okay. Forbidden butt plug. No. Okay.
Well met. Unlike
Yeah,
my brother,
okay, we talked to
I've
him,
no
alright.
dislike of
Let's
strangers.
just get a
Met
room,
lots of them while I
go
was
to
a
bed,
small
and then maybe we'll turn
What are you
off
doing that
manlit
for?
mode. We'll get a
I
room,
escaped fighting in Cyrodiil.
Go to bed,
only to have it track me down
and
again
then
in
we'll be
Scott.
done manliting.
Sure thing.
Okay?
It's yours
Then
for
we'll
a
be
day.
done
I'll show
manliting.
you to your room.
I really want to steal this rock. I'm gonna be honest. Can I get away with this? Haha. Okay. Where's my room? Where's my room?
What are you doing that for?
I didn't do anything. I'm just existing, ma'am. I think it's in here. Isn't this my room? Yeah. Okay. Wait, who are you? The fuck? Reinhardt? Reinhardt Overwatch? Oh my god, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Shield. Yay. Okay. Get our good 8 hours back. You know, I don't have any weapons equipped. What do you want me to drop? We could just, Why don't I drop my, like, what do we got? You know what? We'll drop my, can I drop my kneecaps any further? Let's see. Mom, I threw up. Just, that's all I got. It was just, there we go. Perfect. We dropped our height a couple inches. Is that good? And you know what? Just for good measure, just for extra good measure, we'll do gold ore. Yeah. There we go. It's gone. All right. There we go. Bro, this is, I think this is ideal. This is, we thought we were, how? Can we go further? Is this gonna be even playable? This feels like fucking Katamari. Wait, look how fast she is. Na 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 I can't even jump back up there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is perfect. This is actually godlike performance. Okay. Oh god. All right, time to help the. Look at her cape, dude. Wait, let me just. I think the candlelight's like in my.
We are getting wet.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we fucking are. She could hide in the basket. She really could. Oh god, it's like 5 a.m. Okay, can we like wait out in the rain for a few hours, pretty please? I know it's not ideal, but I need to make sure the farmers are awake so I can go help them. Oh, it's snowing! Isn't that nice? Hi!
Unless you intend to bury someone, this isn't the place you're looking
I think this is exactly the place I'm looking for.
I'm sorry, I should really go now.
Okay, I know one of them was deliver firewood to somebody, so that might be the person that works at the mill. Wow, this is actually very efficient. This is a good way to get around. Like, we're going, I don't know, is it just me or are we going faster? I feel like we might be going faster, you know? I don't know if... God, this stretching is too much. Okay, I did need to gather crops for someone, so let's see if they're in here, because this is where the farm is. Yeah, Corpse Light Farm. Okay, they're not in there. Her cape is in perpetual Superman mode. I really hope I don't crash the game doing this. Is there a person out here? No, I know someone needed help gathering crops. Maybe we can knock at the door. Am I tall enough to do that? Can we knock at the door? Hey, do you work here? Oh, I think she's a prostitute. Awkward. Let's just knock. Hello? No answer. Let's break in. I just really wanted to help you, so I broke into your house. Trust me. Oh, fuck. I got the bounty. No.
Skillfully handled.
I don't know if that was skillfully handled. Okay, she's not even in here, so let's just reload before I decided to make a fucking fool of myself. Let's just do that, because I'm a goddamn moron. So I know one of them was wood, one of them was crops. Those two should be easy. And then there was another one that was, like, might be a little bit more involved, so that should be fine. How she even see it? Yeah, I have no fucking idea. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how she saw me. I don't know, I am thinking, do we want the opposite too? Should I like add a big boy redeem? I feel like that could be promising. A big boy redeem. Oh wait, can I pet the cat? The cat's gonna fucking eat me. I can adopt it? Cat! Congratulations on adopting your new cat. Be sure to give it a name and drop by one of 2 stores in Skyrim to purchase a collar, cat bed, toys, and most importantly, food. It's vital to keep your cat fed and happy to avoid them running away or worse, dying. Oh my god. We're gonna name it, I would name it Jetmere, but it doesn't look like Jetmere. It doesn't look like my IRL cat. Let's name it, could we no, I will remember. I will remember. Let's name it, Jim. question, and why don't you follow me? Cats not add to your standard follower count, but there is a limit to the amount of cats you can have follow you at any given time. Okay. So, I really hate to do this, but I'm gonna be so fucking real with you, chat. My tummy hurts so goddamn bad. We're gonna take another 1 minute, maybe 3 minute break, see if I can, sort that one out, and we'll see what happens. Because I'm about to shit my pants. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Hello. So some of you might be noticing, I am not Evie. Unfortunately, she is currently, and I quote, shitting herself to death. So we're gonna end stream here. I've been asked to say goodbye to you gamers. So, goodbye gamers. Evie will be back Wednesday. She loves you. Stay hydrated. And we will catch y'all later. I don't know who she would want me to raid, so I'm not going to. But yeah, everyone have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.